This podcast is brought to you by The Pod Tower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show.
Tres, dos, uno.
What the fuck?
Oh, I always forget about the three.
Do you want to do it again?
Suck.
Do you want to try it again? Redeem yourself?
Tres, two, and.
Oh, we're doing three? I was unaware. I don't know. I didn't know this.
It's because I counted backwards in Norwegian.
Oh.
You got lost.
I don't know any language at all.
You got some Spanish.
I am an AI that is plugged in right now to the James Strecker vocal cord,
You just press the AI button.
and it creates a beautiful image of a beautiful boy named Brian.
Hey.
Hi, that's you.
And I'm Brian.
And I, how you doing tonight on this here night of March the 5th?
I am marching 5th.
March the 8th, of course, because it's one day before the live podcast.
Oh. In that case, I'm not doing great.
Yeah, by this point, we're not doing so well. No.
Can I tell you a confession? It's weird
Yes,
for me.
please, my son. Whatever I say as a priest man, I don't know. Lend me your sins.
Done and done.
See, I don't know
They're
any
all
language.
yours. So I've done a lot of theater performing.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of circus performing. I was in a band for a decade. And so I've just I spent a lot of time on stage. You love that tonight, Jamie.
However,
I've spent a lot of time on stage, and I don't get stage fright. I did for a little bit, and then it's just kind of I don't know, that doesn't really I get excited, but I don't get stage fright. I have been having the biggest dread, however. Anytime, circus, music, theater, you're running lines or rehearsing songs or whatever for months.
Yeah.
And I keep having this dread, this feeling that I need to be rehearsing for this.
Yeah.
My brain understands, okay, show's coming up. My brain does not understand show coming up that you don't rehearse for.
That is just off the top of your head. You make everything up. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never done improv.
Yeah.
Which I assume there's probably some preparation for. There has to be some.
I would count this podcast as maybe 60% improv, I think. That's the thing.
That is what Cooper said. He was my housemate Cooper. He's just he's such a sage. We were chatting. He's like, "How you doing?" He said about the show, and I was basically gave him the same thing I just gave you. Yeah. And he's like, "You have been rehearsing." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "It's been what, 2 years now? You've been rehearsing every week. That's your rehearsal, man. You got this." And it was just, I started crying. And then I was tears streaming down and snot, and I just wiped it on his shirt, and then we kissed. It was
made out.
Nice.
Yeah, I understand. I've been there. Yeah. I think we'll get in the auto zone when we're doing it. I just have to say it casually like that. But I had that exact same thought. I was telling that to Jessica last night or sometime yesterday about I don't understand it because I've performed drum corps and marching band shows in front of literally thousands of people. And then I realized that's because I was practicing every inch my body moves and every note I play for months and months and months and months and months, every single day, all day long. And then I just go into autopilot and do it. I don't care how many people are in front of me. But then, this is just we have to come out and then we just stand there and then we're just Squidward being tomatoes thrown at us. We have to instead come out with our mops and just do mops on the stage. We should just do that.
I'm going to bring Max and Rose on stage so they can just meow into the microphone.
Whenever we can't think of anything to say, we just hold them up and everyone cheers. You grab the hind legs, I'll grab the front.
I was going to say, I don't think I'm strong enough to just pick them up like that.
Get your picture with DVD and Blu-ray.
But yeah, I need to ask you a question though before we get too far off of this topic that we've just been on. Mm-hmm. With your like your band performances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you kind of forget you're on stage?
Yeah. I mean, even like the first show that I did, like as a complete newbie rookie in the group, I had a bloody nose during the performance.
Hell yeah.
And I remember like just blood streaming down my nose, and then I wiped it on Cooper, and when we made out, and I was bleeding the whole time, and so I was like hyper aware of every step I was taking and everything. I was just like, oh my God, everyone's looking at me. Obviously there's something wrong. They see that kid with blood going down his face, like what's going on? And then, but the final show of that first season of mine was complete. The show began, and then I like blinked and it was over, and then I just went like, what the fuck happened? Like I blacked out. I just did everything I was supposed to do, and then that became like the normal thing from then on. Obviously if you have like a solo or like something like that, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm in the moment, I gotta do the thing, but like everything else,
let me tell you that. So that was the thing. For it started when I was in like my band days and performing on stage, and I remember some of the like bigger ones. You know, I remember like moments from those, or like really like interesting things that happened. Like I remember that shit. I have more memories of me being on stage, like eyes closed, thinking about like a grocery list.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like so autopilot. There's just like, and you're talking about even like, like guitar solos and stuff. It's just, you just kind of feel it.
Okay, sure.
You're not thinking about it. And if something's wrong, you might like open your eyes, look down, and like adjust by like a fret or something. But same with musical theater.
It just
like,
goes by. Yeah.
It's like, not so much the feeling of all the air in your lungs. Oh, I guess that, but also like how big your chest is supposed to be before you sing this next part. Even if it's a solo, even if you're dancing in the middle of it, like everything is so, this foot goes here at this point in time, you do this movement. That's why like when I was Tin Man, I had bruises for like, 2 months, because there was this fall that I did, and I always fell on the exact same spot every single time.
And you put everything into it. I'm sure you didn't like hold back for like, it'll hurt. Yeah.
So I don't know. It was like that. Man, I haven't thought about my Tin Man bruises in a long time. But
Is that the subtitle of this episode?
I don't know, but this is maybe the most like off the wall intro we've done so far. So
it just gets everyone into the zone for if they're listening to this on the day it comes out, and then you'll see us in less than 24 hours. Then you'll just be like, oh, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're scared as shit right now, actually.
I don't think I'm going to be scared, but I think I will have that same feeling of, oh no, I didn't rehearse. It's like that dream where you're like, oh, it's the math quiz I didn't study for. It's that feeling. Yeah. It's exactly that feeling.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. I completely feel you, though. Like, I'm right there. We're in the same headspace, but that's probably a good thing. There's like, if one of us was like, fucking, this is easy, I do this every day, and then the other one was like, I don't know, man, I don't know what's going on. And then we both get up there, and we have some sort of horrible falling out or whatever. We all cry and wipe our faces on Cooper, who's going to be there.
He's going to be there.
Good. Everyone single him out and cry on him. We'll have to like introduce, like Kimmy, the dogs, Cooper, these people that we mention that are going to be there in person, the Tips Apricots, all that kind of stuff.
I know. I do want to get name tag things.
Yes, that's on my list for the week. I have a handful of things I'm going to go grab.
Sick.
We're going to try to make the green cookies. This is episode 113 of Jump on the Bat-Wagon. Woo!
Oh my God. Yeah. Today, I got to figure out what WF means.
If you want to.
Oh,
I can
or
still
not?
I can tell you.
Oh, no, we talked about not saying it, right?
I don't know. I'm back and forth.
I want to know.
Someone pointed this out in the comments, is like, I'm going to say it. It's going to mean nothing to you. Like, it won't give you any, like, it'll be so obvious to like DC comic fan people. And then you'll just hear it and go like, that's a phrase. It doesn't mean,
I thought it was going to be like the back of my head thoughts I've been trying not to thought about.
Wonder Woman Flash.
Exactly. Exactly that. I was like, well, but like not WWF, because that would have been funny in its own way.
Yeah.
I'm like Wonder Flash has been the thing that's like,
sure.
Just back
so
here.
I think the first time I mentioned the initials, you said like, oh, well, but no, that couldn't be it. And I'll never know what that was, that thought that went through your head, and you don't even remember saying that. So there's no way that I'll know what that. But I think of that every time. I'm like, maybe he had it. Maybe he really knew what it was, but I'll never be able to have an answer to that. If you want to know, then I'll tell you at the end of this episode. Stick around.
Let's do it.
I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel. I'm here to show my good buddy Brian.
I've already introduced myself.
Yeah, you've been there for a while. The entire DC animated universe from start to finish for the very first time in the controversial Airdate order. Mm-hmm. So that he may view these shows the way human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1900s. Mm-hmm. At the time of this recording,
6:21 p.m.
Superman, the animated series, is streaming on Max.
My dog shouldn't have taken a drink of water there.
No, you stop drinking water. How could you there's a beverage time coming up, okay?
Hell yeah.
Available on DVD and Blu-ray.
My other dog.
That's the one word. That's what the D stands for.
My other daughter.
Huh?
Do you remember the Too Many Daughters?
No.
Oh god.
From what?
It's
What is this?
Is it Whitest Kids You Know?
Oh, okay.
I think it might be Whitest Kids You Know. Too Many Daughters. Look it up. It's so good.
Too many daughters. Too many daughters.
Not that.
Oh, no,
We're not watching Too Many
If you'd
Cooks.
like to follow along, you can head on over to bit.ly/watchdcau. Links in the show notes. Today, we are watching Father's Day. Because it's Father's Day today on March 5th, 8th. March and 5/8. Your prediction last time was that Superman was going to get a message from Jor-El, and I said no. And then you predicted that he was going to go to Kansas, and I said I don't think so. Do you have updated guess?
Well, yes, but I threw that one so that we could just I had to break the streak because otherwise you guys would think I'd get it right every time. And if I made a mistake, then you'd. So I'm just going to let that one slide, and we're going to watch an episode.
You do know what's happening. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude.
This first aired Friday, October 3rd, 1997 at 4:30 p.m. on the WB. Yes, of course. This was 4 days after our last episode, Ghost in the Machine. You're very aware.
I knew that.
This aired number 28, produced number
29.
No, 28 is the same.
Fuck.
Right after the Promethean. If you would have got
Okay,
that,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that
right.
one.
You can't know everything. This was written by Mark Evanier and Steve Gerber.
I knew it.
Of the Gerber baby empire. Mark Evanier previously wrote Tools of the Trade, which was that, hello, I have guns for you, and I'm here to give you guns from space hell. That was what he said in that episode.
Yes.
He was also the assistant to Marvel and DC artist Jack Kirby and was the head writer of Garfield and Friends.
Oh, okay.
Which we learned from
that's cool, man. So he's been around.
And Steve Gerber wrote for many Marvel and DC titles in the past. Also the creator of Howard the Duck.
Okay. But you're just going to gloss over the Marvel thing? You know that's my wheelhouse-ish?
That's Marvel. Howard the Duck is Marvel. Howard the Duckman Private Dick. Is that better? Does that get you in the zone, auto zone? Directed by Dan Reba, who previously directed 10 episodes of BTAS, as well as Lasak Parts 1 and 3, The Main Man Parts 1 through 2, Blast from the Past Parts 1 through 2, Holiday Nights, and Mixia's Pixelated. Music is by Shirley Walker, supervising composer for all of BTAS, the composer of the BTAS and STAS theme music, and composer for Holiday Nights and Sins of the Father, which are the two new Batman Adventures episodes we've watched so far.
Heck yeah.
And animation is by Coco Dong Yang, previously animated 42, that's a number, episodes of BTAS, as well as Lasak, Feeding Time, Stolen Memories, Tools of the Trade, Blast from the Past, Holiday Nights, Livewire, Identity Crisis, Target, Mixius Pixelated, Sins of the Father, Brave New Metropolis, and Monkey Fun.
Wow.
Because there's like 2, maybe 3 by the end, Superman animation studios, I'm just gonna I have an idea to just at some point go and this many Superman episodes, because it's it was for reference to in BTAS, oh yeah, this animation studio that animated those 2 episodes, so it'll kind of look like that, whereas this one's it's one or the other.
Yeah. I think that's because otherwise it's gonna be 5 minutes of reading episode titles.
It will be, yeah. And these 50 Superman episodes, Blast from the Past. Yeah. What are you drinking? Water?
Water.
Like a good boy?
Like a
I'm
good
drinking
boy.
Cancer, aka Red Bull.
Literally, there was a Hank Green reel or whatever posted today about not drinking Cancer. He said
Nice.
specifically, don't drink cancer. So, Jamie,
Oh.
I think you're going to have to throw that
I
can
thought
away.
I heard wrong. Someone told me to drink cancer, and I've just been doing it for years.
Nope. Bad
I
job.
know. Actually, don't do it very often, listener. This is, I got to make myself sound better. If you want to head over to the link in the description, buy us a Yoppie beverage and support the show, we'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. And we'll also do a push-up for every $1. So send us coffee for our health and your entertainment. Today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from Mystery Scooby. Hope you two are doing well. Happy to be listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who could it be? Ruh-roh.
Mystery Scooby, thank you for the
Yes.
bevs.
No mystery here that you are a Yoppie dude. We have to do 5 push-ups. Do them now.
Okay.
Okay.
1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I like you're much bassier. 1, 2. I was doing them like
also-
shouting very like staccato militaristic. 1, 2 in the background. So we'll find a happy.
You got to
medium.
have fun. I also managed to hit my head on the ceiling victoriously. So
How? The actual
I'm-
ceiling?
the ceiling, the light, this thing. I hit that thing with my head.
Okay. That lamp is really low enough that it's like a normal ceiling fan for the listeners' sake.
Jamie, we're both tall guys. You know this,
I know,
right?
but like if I don't know, fuck it, whatever. Then we go watch the episode and then we'll
Yeah.
come back and talk about it with a special guest. You'll find out who it is by reading the title of the episode.
My scream machine is a success, Great Darkseid.
Is it?
A success, engaging Superman's strength. Using this data, I can now construct the ultimate device to destroy him and...
That was your ultimate device, Desaad. You have failed me.
Please, sire, all my years of service to you.
Send me back to Earth, Darkseid. Let me put Intergang back together. I've learned a lot here on Apocalypse.
No one gets the chance to fail me twice, Mr. Mannheim.
Give me the opportunity to prove myself, sire. Let me destroy Superman for you.
No, Calabac.
But
The destruction of Superman is too important to my plans. I cannot entrust it to you.
as you wish, Great Darkseid.
How can he even take that gorilla seriously?
No one questions my judgment, Mr. Mannheim. Least of all, you.
To work!
This is very loose, by the way. There's a structure to it, but not much unlike your radio shows and podcasts that you're usually hosting. There's not nearly as strict of like a structure to the thing. So we kind of just dick around for an hour or so and talk about the episode.
No, yeah, I listened to a couple of them, and yeah, I was kind of like, oh, this is very relaxed. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I just let Jamie steer the ship, and I just kind of I talk until I'm not making sense anymore, and then I stop, and then we just kind of go from there.
But yeah, as I was saying, Brian's not seen any of this stuff before, so we can't talk about anything from the future. We can't talk about even the name of the next episode he doesn't know yet until I tell him at the end of this podcast episode. So he's completely oblivious.
All right.
I think we're in a pretty good little age ladder here. I think like we got I'm really the baby of this podcast episode here today, but Brian is gonna be turning 40 in like a week and a half.
Oh, wow. Happy early
10
birthday.
days. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I'm clocking in at tipping the scales at almost 49 in like 3 weeks. So
Dang.
Okay.
You look great for 49.
Oh, that's
no
kind of
joke.
you to say.
I would not have guessed.
yeah, I saw the calendar like, well, that can't be right.
I've been in the same boat. Yeah, I'm just like 40. Oh my God, that's an old person's age, isn't it? Like, what am I doing being 40? How have I made it here?
Yeah, my wife gets mad at me. She's like, you don't have to address that person as sir. He's 12 years younger than you. I'm like, but it just, it feels weird. I always think I'm like, and mentally, I feel like I'm 25. And then it's like, do the age. And I was like, oh, crap, the math doesn't add up to 25, though, does it?
You're actually almost twice that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for that, James.
Yo, hey,
of course.
I'm right there with you. And I'm kind of glad to know that it just, like, I don't feel like I'm about to be 40 because I don't feel about to be 40. I don't feel about to be 30. Like, 25 absolutely nails it. Like, I feel like I've kind of plateaued there. Maybe matured a little bit, but how I function as a person, I'm still just a weirdo. Like that, none of that
little
changed.
brother energy. We've discussed this before.
yeah, that.
But then I'm an old soul anyway, because I made some reference the other day to Susan. She's like, didn't that movie come out in the 30s? I was like, yeah, but it was a good movie, and I had it on VHS. Shut up. Promptly told her to get off my lawn, so it's fine.
Right. Nice. James Enstall yells at Cloud is the headline.
I probably use that headline weekly in my life. That's all right.
Yeah. I'll give you a little brief introduction for people that are listening that don't know James. He's the host of the Geek to Me radio show, which is a Sunday. But explain this better than me. Go.
Yeah, we're actually, again, back in my day, we had radio. So it's actually a terrestrial radio station, but it also streams online. So if you're in the greater St. Louis area, you can tune in to 5:50 a.m. on the dial every Sunday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We do a brand new live show. And then that streams online. If my executive producer, Joey B's in the studio with me, he runs videos. So we do it on YouTube and Facebook as well. And then after we air it, he takes out all the commercials and it lives online as a podcast. We just did our 400th episode last week.
Dang. I'll press the applause button.
Thank you.
I saw the little Instagram 400 going up. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
We're on episode 113, so we'll catch up to you eventually.
or not. You know, it might just be that 300 episode gap forever.
Yeah, and then you also co-host the Justice League Revisited podcast with Susan Eisenberg, the voice of Wonder Woman, a character Brian doesn't know yet. But I've been listening to every episode. I've been enjoying that quite a bit. I like that even though you segmented out per episode, like, oh, we're talking about this episode, but the person on is just going to tell us like their entire life story and career and everything, and then half the time I forget that it's like quote unquote supposed to be about that specific episode. But I'm still enjoying it quite a bit because it's like I get to learn all this stuff. I'm feverishly sitting there going like, damn it, I have to write this down because no one else is going to when they throw out tidbits of stuff. Yeah, that I didn't know that, then no one else did.
Dan Reba and Rich Fogel and having Stan Berkowitz and all these writers. And then we just recorded one. It's not out yet with Glenn Murakami, who did all the storyboard and art for the season one. Wow. So it's, the people who did the music, dynamic music partners. So yeah, we try to stay on topic, but I'm kind of like all over the place. We've
had Dan Reba on a couple times, and it sounds like that same kind of experience where it's just like, Our podcasts with Dan are usually like 2.5 hours because he's just like so loaded with stuff. But then he also has the like 10 or 15 or 20 times like, okay, well, off the record. And then he gives us some other tidbit, which is just like, okay, well, we can't include that, but now it's in my head forever. Hell yeah.
He's told me so many things he's going to have to kill me at some point because it's like, James, you know too much. I'm sorry.
Do feel the same way. Yeah, I know you're good for this. You're not going to say anything.
Right. Right.
But we get to know the secrets. Yeah.
He's like Manhunt.
He sounds just like him. Yeah. You're on Dark Side. What are you doing? It's me, Dan Reba. You sure you want to do that? We usually have the guest give us the synopsis, which is the rundown of the episode with the word yop. I don't think you've listened to enough of it for me to have. I have to explain what yop is. The very first Batman the Animated Series episode that we watched, because we're watching this all in Airdate order, Commissioner Gordon goes and stands waiting for Batman under a building, and the building just says Yoppie Foods. Just very blatantly, and we were like, what the hell does that mean? And I've asked so many people, nobody knows. Like, I'd have to track down the exact, background painter or whatever that made that to ever know. And we've just incorporated Yoppie into everything that we do.
Well, at the time, we didn't have a name for the podcast.
Right.
And so we're like, what if we're just the Yoppie dudes? Yoppie Foods, Yoppie dudes. It didn't happen. but thankfully,
it's stuck as our nomenclature.
Yeah.
It's not a.
So anyway,
give me your band name.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So then we went from synopsis to synopsis, and the story's over.
You know, whenever we explain these things, it sounds way stupider. I'm going to play the little song that we play, and then you can tell me what happens in this episode.
Synyop, synyop. If you're wondering, synyop, synyop. What you just watched, synyop, synyop. Take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
And just like clockwork, James is doing a little dance.
You can't not.
You can't
it's
not.
catchy.
Yeah.
Cooney nailed it with that song. So, yeah.
So yes, please, James, Enstall, tell us what happened in Father's Day.
So in this episode, a strange sphere-like that looks suspiciously like something right out of the Jack Kirby comic book shows up in Metropolis.
Yes!
And begins kind of scanning things and eating light posts. Luckily, Lois Lane, who was out in her very 90s running outfit, comes across this sphere and says, whoa, this is weird. She calls the city desk. As Superman, Clark Kent, is leading his parents on a tour of the Daily Planet, who have just arrived in town to celebrate Father's Day, Clark Superhearing picks up Lois's voice on the city editor's phone and hears what's wrong, flies out to, I guess it's, did they name it? Is it Centennial Park like it is in the comic books? I
don't know. It's just Park.
Okay.
I don't think I saw the
We'll call
sign
it Yoppie Park. So Superman flies to Yoppie Park.
Well played.
And he rescues Lois, who has now got her leg clamped because the tentacle thing has come out of the sphere. And he breaks her free, takes a couple laser bolts to the face, blocks some energy beams like electric blue bolts. Am I getting too detailed?
No, this is great.
Okay.
This is perfect.
And then
you never know. Sometimes there are 2 sentences. Sometimes it's every shot of the episode. It doesn't matter. It's
right.
What you feel in your heart. Yeah.
I want to be thorough. This is my first time on your show. I want to be thorough and do a good job.
Perfect.
Get it.
Okay.
Do you?
So then Superman, even though he can, lift whole buildings and everything like that, this round sphere has enough power to push him through rocks. And he ends up buried beneath rocks. And then this huge saw comes out of the sphere and tries to cut him. It can slice through rock, so I'm assuming it's made of like the blades are diamond or some kind of similar substance to diamonds found on Apocalypse.
Saw,
so he's dodging the blades, and he finally pulls that off, and finally gets the sphere. It's about to self-destruct because Darkseid has come in and sees Desaad controlling the sphere and says, "You know what? You screwed this up too." He's like, "That's all right. That's all right. We're testing his power." So he sets the self-destruct. Superman grabs the sphere, flies it straight up in the air, and it explodes. They see the explosion, and Kalibak comes in, the son of Darkseid, says, "Hey, let me take a crack at Superman. I can beat him." He goes, "Nope, I don't want this to be messed up. You're obviously an idiot, even though you sound like Lieutenant Worf. I don't trust you." And so Desaad thinks, "Oh, this is my chance," because he's always scheming. And he decides, "I can send you to Earth. Don't listen to your father. You can take him. And then you'll be his favorite son," because Darkseid does not recognize him as his son because the whole High Father and Orion switcheroo.
He doesn't know that yet. Don't tell him.
What?
I didn't say that. I said my father because I'm very sensitive about parents.
Yes.
That's what I said.
My father switch. Yes.
So they send Kalibak to Earth. Desaad sends him behind Darkseid's back, figuring either he's going to take out Superman or he'll get in trouble. And either way, Desaad is now raised in the eyes of Darkseid. So Kalibak shows up and somehow knows the restaurant that Superman's going to be having lunch at. And Lois takes Monpaw Kent to the restaurant. Clark has to hang out in the editor's office. Perry's going to yell at him about something, which we never find out what he's yelling him about. It's just like,
come in here so you can not be in the scene.
Right. Very convenient plot device. So Kalibak, after smashing the Mater D's desk and starts turning over every table except the Kent's table, which I thought was a little odd.
They're sit there and watch him do it.
Hey. And the wine gets spilled all the lady's dress. It's a little odd that he's looking for Superman. Like, is he under this table? No. Is he under this table? No. Really weird. And somehow, even though he could listen to Lois's phone, he can't hear a bunch of people screaming a block away. which I thought was odd as well. But
selective dog listening. That's his power. That's what we've decided. Yeah.
And as they're evacuating the restaurant, because Calabac literally bringing the house down, Pa Kent said, "Hey, this guy's 5 times my size. I should go over and punch him in the face." And he gets held behind. And of course,
his face is 5% or 50% of his body.
His head was so large. I never realized. I have the action figure of the Justice League that Mattel did of the 2-pack Darkseid and Calabac, and I know it's a large, but he looks like that Green Lantern who's just the ball with arms.
It's just a head,
I feel like I'm segueing too much. I'm sorry. I'll pull me back on task.
This is what we do.
Okay. So so Superman finally shows up and fight ensues. They're knocking each other all over the place. This is why property insurance rates are huge in Metropolis. Cars, Superman just picks up 2 random cars. It's like, I'm not sure who these people are, but they're not needing their cars. Smashes them on Calabac, which somehow also blows Superman back. So that was kind of a dumb move because it hurt him as much as it did Calabac, apparently. They go into the subway and they're fighting there. He gets electrocuted, takes the 3rd rail, and that still didn't put him out. He gets back up. They're fighting. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, this building's going to collapse any second. Jonathan Kent dies in this episode. And I thought maybe this was his Zack Snyder moment where I can't save Pa Kent. But he defeats him. He throws Calabac, I'm assuming miles away, and he lands in a field in what I only assume is upstate New York from the looks of it. Nothing around. And then he saves his dad, flies to check out
Madison Square Garden. He threw him all
very bizarre. But he did this field of daisies and trees, and Darkseid finds out Desada sent him, realizes he's failed. Darkseid shows up, pulls Calabac back to the boom tube, and Superman goes, "Wait, what do you do with him? Who are you?" And "This is who I am." He blasts him with his Omega beams. That wasn't really an answer. That's just, and then as he leaves, he goes, "You'll be hearing from me again. Darkseid will rule this planet," or something to that effect. And it's like, why didn't you just say my name's Darkseid instead?
Brian was saying the whole time.
I was so upset at that point because Superman's all like, "Who are you?" And he doesn't answer him. And he's like, he does the eye thing. And he's like, "That's who I am." And then he's going back in his transporty thing. And he's just like, something about coming back and, Darkseid will blah, blah, blah. But he never identifies himself as Darkseid. So I just imagine Superman sitting there being like, "But who are you?"
Who's Darkseid? Is that relevant?
I'm trying to remember now if he even got Calabac's name. I don't think Calabac ever introduced himself. Because maybe that's just what people on Apocalypse do.
Know.
You don't need to know my name. That's like how they greet each other. And then they headbutt one another.
Big guy.
Yeah. But so that is the synopsis.
Yes, thank you.
Well done.
Let me give you the one sentence official Warner Brothers synopsis for this. Calabac, son of Darkseid, arrives in Metropolis to kill Superman and subsequently show his ability as a warrior to his father. That's basically what you said, but a lot shorter.
I feel like I may have overstated it now.
I liked yours.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole in that theme song for our synopsis. Cooney mentions at the end
summary, which is sometimes kind of
the short and summary, because there's times where I'm on it for 5-10 minutes, whatever.
I was pleasantly surprised at how much you recalled of the fight, because I was kind of noticing that, like when we had the Lobo episode a few ago, the first part of the 2-parter was mostly just Lobo and Superman fighting in various Metropolis spots, and it was like kind of hard to follow exactly what was happening or remember important moments. It was just a lot of punching and flying and falling and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Whereas this, at least, they seem to have learned some sort of lesson from that, where like most of the episode was just Superman and Calabac punching each other in the face over and over again. But they had like Brian was describing it as like WWE moves. It's just like a bunch of like very memorable, significant, like a set piece change or a very weird like gymnastic thing they would do to each other, throw each other over their shoulders or something.
Yeah, instead of the WWE, instead of a folding chair, it was a Ford Pinto that he just slams him with. So
give him the truck.
And that's why it exploded, right? He did the thing. He didn't realize he grabbed 2 Pintos and then it just backfired.
Those gas tanks on those things, man, don't get me started.
I didn't ask for a car fight, man. What do you think I am, the Thing? Yeah.
I mean, they fought everything. They fought building columns, pieces of building columns, the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, on the subway, but there was lots of changes. I noticed there was lots of like environmental things where it'd just be like an overshot of the concrete and Superman would bounce off it and there'd be like an indentation left in the concrete. And I thought that was cool. Like, there's a lot of really good details in this. There
were a lot of Greek columns in this episode. Like every building has them. It looks like the Greek district of Metropolis, or what was going on?
Yeah. The Minerva across from, I think that was Bergdorf's mall over there. Yeah.
Bergdorf's, as you may remember from ancient Greece.
Yes,
yes, exactly.
The ancient Greek department store.
He was the god of shopping. And when we talk about like the animation from the Coco Dong Yang episodes, there tends to be a lot of like, oh, I wish this episode could have been TMS. I wish this episode, like, it's not bad, but there's some level of just weight or physics to it that doesn't necessarily work for me sometimes. I think there was kind of a 50-50 in this one of like, now it's a tiny solid as it comes out of the ball at the start. Once it collides with the rock, it cuts to a shot where the painting of the rock already has the indent in it, so it can come out of that and leave the indent. Like, I thought that was a good detail. But then there's other stuff where just throughout the fight, I'm just like, oh yeah, I can see that they had to handle a lot of motion and trying to keep this giant weird head gorilla man on model throughout the whole episode. Like, I didn't envy the fact that sometimes he would be a little bit too tall or his head would be too small or something like that in a shot, but I would just be like, I'll let it slide because I would not want to have to do this, like, to keep up with the proportions of anyone in this. Yeah.
Did you notice during the fight too, when he hits Superman at one point, he kind of skids across the street, but the raised sidewalk stopped him, which I'm like, what are the sidewalks made of in Metropolis? It's like he got pushed through a boulder in the park earlier, but the little sidewalk indentation is like, boop, and just stopped. I'm like, oh, that's some impressive concrete work.
Luthor started replacing all sidewalks with kryptonite at a certain point just to make sure.
So
my guess was going to be adamantium, but whatever.
Oh, could be.
Brian, you had a couple of like, oh, that's a very Jack Kirby thing. Oh, that's a very Jack Kirby thing. And I was expecting that James would be the one to be sitting here and like educating you on Jack Kirby stuff, but I guess you just know Jack Kirby stuff already.
We've talked about the Kirby Crackle. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
On this show, but like it's so like it was through all like the X-Men comics that I was raised with, right? Like the little circly things and whatever, and that was like the center of that whatever you call that little circle droid dude. Like that was the Kirby Crackle. The fire at the very very start of it had the same Kirby Crackle going on. I was just like,
coming off of Apocalypse.
Yeah, this is like probably visually my favorite episode, to be honest. Like, this is this. I don't know, man. Like, while there's been more episodes that have looked pretty. Oh my God, what is it called? Last Son of Krypton. One, like, being on the planet itself was amazing and beautiful, but like this one just had like so much detail and so much stuff going on that I was just like constantly like, oh, that's great, the blue lasers with the weird blue halo around that, and like it was a lot of crazy detail, and I was just really really admiring it.
There were bits of the Fleischer Superman that I saw too in certain scenes. I'm not sure it was the way he was lit when he comes flying out and when he first comes into the park. It almost looked like a little bit of a Fleischer look to it, which I know I can't remember if it was Rich or Dan said they kind of wanted to incorporate a little of that. And I like when they show the scenes of the diner, people are in the diner, they're in like it. You can never tell, is it modern times? Because Lois has a cell phone, but everyone's dressed like they're in the 1940s. And I love that aspect of both Batman and Superman.
Yeah, Brian, those are the 40s, like World War II Superman cartoons that he's talking about.
Yeah, okay.
I caught that with when that blue laser thing first hits Superman. He and Lois both like swap into like a different color palette where the contrast is like a lot higher. There's much darker blue, almost black on Superman as he's trying to like fight it back, and then he uses his Light Griffey Jr. powers to throw the light back at the at the stream machine, I think that he called it. And yeah, they're like, I did catch a couple of those things. Do you know, James, is the Scream Machine a like pre-existing apocalypse weapon of some kind? I've never.
Yeah, it could be. I'm woefully undereducated on all of the New God stuff, because I mean, there's stuff that Granny Goodness would pull out, like the original Marshall Rogers and Jack Kirby run on Mr. Miracle when Marshall Rogers took over the book after Jack stopped. And there's all sorts of things that would come up, and Oberon saying,
a bunch
it's
of made up stuff.
It's the screaming violet of death that he would, this is the torture device. So I never know for sure if it's actual reference or not.
I mean, it could just kind of be that in that same vein, because it feels like there's the crackle in the middle. All the like detail work are those like kind of jagged diagonal lines that you'll see on all sorts of Kirby stuff. It's just kind of like taking every Kirby-ism and just make a ball out of it. Just put all the stuff in the ball. Also, Brian, I really liked that. As someone who's never seen this episode, I think for the first bit you assumed Desaad was this tiny man inside of the ball.
Yes,
because it shows the view screen and it's usually a POV from the eyeball or whatever of the ball, and so
Superman's
just
like coming
watching
in,
him operate
huge.
the thing. You're just walking up and he's gigantic, and you're like, is he just really small in there? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess you didn't connect that he's back on Apocalypse. Later it's obvious that he is, but it's just, I just really liked that. It was, oh yeah, that could totally be.
It's a tiny emo Jared Leto in a ball.
Yeah, he said he was Jared Leto in his 30 Seconds to Mars get up.
I can see it.
Greasy hair. Yeah,
I can totally see it.
Yeah. Well, I think overall, it is a very pretty episode. Like, it's a very not pretty in like a, I don't know, masterful Mask of the Phantasm kind of like, oh, I really want to just stare at this background painting for forever kind of way. But it's a very, I don't know, eye candy kind of episode. But it also, story-wise, is just kind of just happens. Like, it's interesting to me, Brian, that you clicked onto so many of the visuals, because usually you're like, yeah, what, I could care less.
Well, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of plot. Like, there's enough plot to keep it going. I didn't feel like the episode was dragging, and there was a lot of tension with, the like, okay, well, Pa Kent is still stuck under those blocks. Is he gonna die this time? Like, Superman's trying to get back there. No, he got punched again. Oh no, now they're over there, and it's probably gonna be dead again. But visually, there was just a lot of unique stuff going on. In Darkseid, talked about the Kirby like angle. Same thing. He's got like his eye bolts like shoot that dude in the butt.
Zigzag.
They zigzag through space, and I'm like, well, the shortest point, between, or the shortest distance between 2 points. But whatever, he's going a little freelance on this one.
You don't understand. That's who he is. He said it at the end of the episode.
He is those eyeball lasers.
Who are we talking about? Eyeball Man?
I'm Zigzag Eyes. Dr. Zigzag Eyes.
So it's funny. I guess I felt more like you in this instance, Jamie, because you tend to obviously catch more of the visual. I catch like the misspellings, and you're the one who like appreciates the art or understands the art. And this one, I was just like, yeah, cool. It's like WWE, and they're just wrestling through the city, and it was cool to like, fly through the building head first, like blast yourself down through the subway. Like, it's just like an action-packed episode. But I will also say it had a good story. There wasn't a lot of story, but it was a good story. And there was a weight to it, especially the music. That as well had like a really good weight to it. And this isn't it. Don't look too much into this comparison, but it was like emotionally got me to the same place that like the first Matrix movie did with its soundtrack. That like it was kind of like pseudo, like almost like this was kind of more like rock opera-ish or just kind of rock, but it had a lot more weight to it. So I just felt like it was a really like easy one to just watch and be in. Yeah,
Darkseid comes in and the drum set starts and you're like, oh, Darkseid's here.
Yeah. Which like I'm starting to understand that first whatever episode that was that we got like 1 second of Darkseid, and then all the
tools of the trade.
And all the listeners were like, Darkseid, oh my God, Darkseid. And I'm like, I don't know who the hell that is. And apparently neither does Superman. Who's Darkseid?
So I know you're seeing these for the first time, Brian, but do you not keep up with the comics? Because he's been around since like early 70s, I think, and Jimmy Olsen comics. So I didn't know what comic book background you got.
One of my best friends was the DC guy, and every once in a while he'd be like, look at this Batman comic, and I just kind of like, yeah, whatever, because I grew up in the heyday of the X-Men cartoons, and so I was like, oh, the X-Men, this is amazing, I want to get like the X-Men comics. And so it was like, for me, it was X-Men and Spider-Man, and then I'd kind of branch out, like Deadpool comic here or there, Fantastic Four here or there. So like I was aware of Batman and Superman, I think, as much as anybody else was in the 90s, but like literally never watched the cartoons, never adopted any of the comics or compilations or anything like that. So I think that's why Jamie approached me to start this show, because this is his life and I have no experience whatsoever.
I almost envy you. That's to have that kind of like almost blank slate to start. It's like you eternal sunshine yourself, and we drop into the pod. This is amazing. I love that. I love this concept, guys. This is so much fun.
You know what? It's kind of it's cool until it's not, because I feel like the show's called Jump on the Bat-Wagon, and of course a play on Jump on the Bandwagon. And it's interesting because everybody has these experiences. And I was chatting with one of our listeners on Instagram the other day. How I'm always concerned that, like, me and Jamie are just like, we're just having fun, we're being buddies talking about this stuff, and we're just kind of like being jackasses and laughing and being rowdy or whatever. But there's always this voice in the back of my head, like after an episode especially, I like flash in my head of like, oh no, I'm like insulting people's childhood, I'm insulting these things that people hold really dear. But it's been kind of interesting, I think, to then reflect that onto James over here, the other James.
Yes, great name, by the way. I didn't mention that on the air. Yeah.
I didn't name it myself, but I'm glad they picked it for me. I'll just...
yeah.
But, it's been interesting for me to be kind of critical about these things that people, like, really love, because, like, I was really excited with BTAS, but there's episodes that are terrible. And to hear people like, oh, these are my favorite episodes, everything was so great, so awesome, blah, blah, blah. And then we watch it in real time just going, I don't know, that's really not a good episode. And then for Jamie here to be like, actually, yeah, I remember this part and this part, but I didn't remember the whole episode being crappy. So it's been really interesting to be that influence, I guess, that outside influence.
It's kind of the newest JL Revisited episode. I think you were mentioning something about, I know you guys record them out of order, but you were mentioning a similar thing about kind of looking at the Justice League episodes with a more critical eye than you have before as you're going through. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, that's interesting though.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, from what I've listened to of your shows, I've never felt like, how dare they say that, until just now when you said there are bad episodes of Batman, and I'm going to have this conversation now. Like, thank you, good day.
Yeah, goodbye. Yeah, you had quite the look. No,
I'm sorry.
No.
I definitely, like you know me. I've lived with this stuff for forever, and this is my job, is to talk about these shows, and then to go back and watch some of the, I mean, even the Dan Rebas of the world will tell you, like, like we really didn't land on that one. Like, I really don't like this episode and that kind of thing. Obviously, I'm still going to, hold the show as a whole as like this changed animation forever and all this kind of thing. But, we have Brian and I finished the show and reflected back on it as a package, and Brian was still like, this is still a show I would recommend people watch. Like, the good outweighs the bad. But some of those really early ones, especially, if they're different animation studios and stuff like that, where they didn't quite have locked down the style or what they were, the narrative they were going for and that kind of thing, it's like a little hard to watch sometimes, for sure. So I'm glad that we're kind of in this Superman era. We're seeing a lot more consistent quality. There's still been a couple episodes that are like, well, that was goofy as hell. Why did whatever, let's move on. But it's been, I wouldn't say I look forward to recording more than I did before, but it's been fun to like, oh yeah, no, I know it's going to be a solid Superman episode, next time or whatever. Yeah.
It's been really interesting for me to see the clips that Alex and his brother have been sharing from the
Batman the Animated Series podcast.
I'm like Batman the Animated Podcast. No, wait, I'm missing a word.
That's a different one.
Yeah. Is that a different one?
It is.
Anyway, to see the clips they've been sharing of like these Batman episodes that I watched 2 years ago and haven't seen since, to be like, oh wow, the quality is it was really all over the place. That being said, I still think I prefer the mood of Batman to Superman.
I that was something in this episode that I felt a little bit too, was like the ending scene, especially when we're in this just cloudless, bright blue sky, sunny day, and here comes Darkseid to say something ominous and scary, and you're like, it's June. Like, well, in the middle of the day, I'll be back. There's
just a couple
birds chirping in the background.
There's a couple sitting on a picnic basket just like eating egg salad sandwiches really slowly.
Huh? Who the fuck is the rock man over there? Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, the boom tube opens and two little rabbits are like, and just kind of pop their heads out of the glen with their
butterflies,
big dewy eyes.
Yeah. I just feel like that's something that they're still figuring it out, sort of, with the Superman episodes. Are just like when to have it be nighttime. If maybe they were going out to dinner instead of lunch, and then by the end of the episode it's dark and starry night outside, then that Darkseid scene might have hit a little bit better for me. But since it's just in broad daylight, middle of the day, it's a little bit silly, or more than it should have been. But it was still kind of a nice, the iceberg is starting to poke out a little more of like, who is this eyeball zigzag man, and what's he got going on, and what's going to happen.
Yeah, having come from more of a Batman, I'm more of a Batman guy than a Superman guy all day, but having the chance to go back and rewatch this episode, I watched them when they were airing, because once again, I'm old, but this was, it was nice to see, because I'm so used to, if I'm just bored, I'll put on Batman on HBO Max, just kind of have something in the background, and the contrast between how bright it is and how clean Metropolis is and everything, it did kind of take me back, and I was like, oh my gosh. It took me a minute to get used to that aesthetic as I was watching this episode.
I feel the same. And it's been easier now. Like, I feel like it was an absolute shock. I mean, the first 3 episodes of Superman were an easy transition because it pulled you from Krypton and into like Earth, and you kind of got that whole spectrum, and that was easy to me. But then, like, most of the episodes, like you said, being clean, bright daylight, that has been a shock. I'm just like, where's my like gritty Gotham? I want somebody to step in a puddle. And we're just like, Metropolis is like, I keep thinking of it as like Miami. I don't know why, but it's just like, oh yeah, we're going to go get smoothies and rollerblade on the boardwalk. And I'm like, where's the grit? But I get it. They have to set it apart, and it makes sense.
I'm very safe here as she jogs through the park.
Yeah. And then here comes giant eyeball screen machine, whatever. I'm going to list off the cast. We have mostly returning people. Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent. I like how they always include / Clark Kent, and I've been looking out for an episode where he isn't Clark Kent ever, but I don't think it's happened yet. I think he's always been Clark for at least a scene, and I've been wondering whether that's some sort of mandate or something of like, you must show him doing normal job. He must be a relatable guy. So they almost like they had to come into my office because this we have to.
I got Clark Kent business to do. Something like that.
Here I am being Clark Kent.
Oh my God. Are we gonna, I'm sure it's gonna come up at some point in time where we talk about, what's his mom's name?
Martha.
Thank you.
Why would you say that name, Brian? Yeah.
What?
Never mind. This is a reference that James understands, but it's okay.
Calling Superman Clark in the middle of the fight, and Lois being like, huh? What?
You're a reporter.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be an award-winning journalist.
Yeah, Pulitzer Prize who?
And there's just that carrot dangling right in front of her face, and she doesn't even know it's there.
Yeah, and also like Martha being like, "Be careful" to Superman for no reason.
Right.
I feel like that would have been a good moment. I think as that happened, I saw kind of a glimmer in your eye, Brian, of like, "Oh shit, is this going to be the episode where Lois like finds out he's Superman?" Mm-hmm. And it's just like I feel like that must have been some kind of in the vein of like Fox Kids being like, you have to put Robin in every episode. We need Robin. That there must be some kind of like, for as long as possible, just maintain a status quo. Some kid can pop into any episode at any time and Lois doesn't know who Superman is or something. Because, yeah, like that was a very obvious, look out, Clark, the only guy that's in danger. And and then he's like, Clark, where? What are you talking about? Like, oh, it's probably Superman. Yeah.
I know. I feel like that would be me in real life if that happened. I'd be like, Clark, He's not here, Martha. Who are you talking to?
Are you senile? Yeah, what's going on?
Sorry, he looks just like my son. I mean, no, he doesn't. I mean, Martha just keeps digging herself deeper in the hole.
Superman. Yeah.
To segue again, I'm not sure if you guys are Doctor Who fans, but there's one of the Christmas specials with the 12th Doctor, the Return of Dr. Mysterio. It's hilarious because the Doctor has a John Byrne Superman comic in this kid's bedroom, and the kid goes, "What are you doing?" And the Doctor says, "Look, I drew spectacles. Clark Kent is actually Superman, but he wears glasses." And the kid's like, "Everyone knows that." And the Doctor kind of looks a little perturbed. He goes, "Well, Lois Lane does it. She's a reporter." And it kind of reminded me of this episode.
She's smart.
How do you not put that together?
Which Doctor was that? You said
that
12th,
was the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi. It's the Christmas special, The Return of Dr. Mysterio.
I am so embarrassed to say that I fell off the Doctor Who bandwagon with the Peter Capaldi episodes. Like, I loved Matt Smith, and then I just kind of like stopped, and I don't know why.
You should get through, because the first 2 seasons, I hated Clara Oswald. She's a horrible companion. She was Matt Smith's companion. As soon as the Doctor got Bill and Nardole as his companions, that last season was brilliant and made him my favorite modern Doctor. So try to power through. And the last season with Peter Capaldi is just, I don't know how he didn't get all the BAFTAs. It's amazing.
Damn.
Sorry for the segue.
Dana
Sorry.
Delaney as Lois Lane.
We're talking Doctor Who.
I know. No, I've never been able to get into it. I'm one of those guys that's like, because I started watching Star Trek like from the start a few years ago, and it took me so long to get through the original series. And I know I get it. Like it's the classic. It's the, you gotta watch it. And I appreciate it for what it is. But of course, I'm like, I can't wait till I get to Next Generation and Voyager and all that kind of stuff that I grew up watching. And it was very, the same thing with Doctor Who, where like, if I'm going to watch it, I want to start from the top. But everyone's like, don't do that. Just start from like the modern stuff. But then I feel like I'm just going to be missing a million references left.
You're not.
No?
Start with Christopher Eccleston. Yeah. And there's going to be a lot of cheese, but.
Yeah, if you just want to dip your toe in, there's a 10th Doctor episode called Blank. And there's an 11th Doctor episode called Vincent and the Doctor. If you watch those two and still don't want to watch Doctor Who, then Doctor Who's not for you.
Okay.
Let's not talk about Vincent and the Doctor. I'm not ready to cry.
Yeah, let's talk about Michael Ironside as Darkseid.
There you go.
George Zunza as Perry White, David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, Bruce Veitz as Bruno Ugly Mannheim. He got the little ugly this time. He hasn't had that before.
Okay.
This is his nickname for some reason. I don't know if they've said it in the show or not, but I like how they just included this time. Shelley Fabares as Martha Kent, Mike Farrell as Jonathan Kent, Robert Morse as Desaad is our first new person. He was Bertram Cooper on 74 episodes of Mad Men, was his main like long-lasting thing that I saw on his IMDb. He was also the voice of Commissioner Gordon in one episode of Super Friends, was a fun thing I jotted down. And up until his recent passing, he was the voice of Santa Claus in several episodes of Teen Titans Go, which was kind of a fun thing for me, because that was like we just did a video not too long ago on whether Santa exists in the DCAU.
What?
And I referenced how he's in Teen Titans Go. He's like a consistent villain in the show or whatever. So it's kind of a weird thing.
He's very notable. I mean, just like he'll pop up because I'm a TV buff. So I'm oh, look at this, an episode that he was in of Quincy MD or something like that. Because again, 80s kid. So I love the 80s TV shows. He was in an episode of, I think, Magnum PI, little things like that. But I was expecting to hear Renee Auberjono's voice. And I was like, not that he didn't do a bad job, but he was also Super Friends Desaad as well. Yeah. And so I kind of expected that voice and like, that's not Renee.
Yeah, he comes back, mild spoilers for Brian, but he'll be Desaad's voice in Justice League as like a callback to him being the Super Friends voice. They replace Robert Morse for whatever reason. I do think he does the better Desaad voice. Brian was even guessing that it was Mark Hamill for a second, because he kind of had a little bit of Mark Hamill what the hell word am I trying to think of?
Jovialness?
Joviality? I don't know what word to describe it as, but yeah. To his voice, a little bouncy.
Yeah, I could say that.
And greasy.
But I was wrong.
Yeah, you were. And then last we have Michael Dorn as Calabac. He was Bane in one episode of Batman Brave and the Bold. Kraven the Hunter in the 2003 CGI Spider-Man animated series, which I've never actually watched. I should have known this, but because as soon as I heard it in my head, I'm like, oh, that is Michael Dorn. He was I Am Weasel on Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel. Do you remember this at all, Brian?
No, I remember Cow and Chicken, but it wasn't a show I watched.
Yeah, okay. Well, it was in the little theme song, they do like All Around the Mulberry Bush. But instead of saying Pop Goes the Weasel, he just goes, I am Weasel in the Michael Dorn voice. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that totally is him. But then, of course, he is Worf on Star Trek Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and related movies and properties of various kinds. That's his big main thing. Something I noticed in this episode that was weird to me was Michael Ironside and Michael Dorn's voices seem to both be like augmented, like deepened a little bit.
They're really
which I'm not
deep.
used to hearing. Yeah, I don't think that happens beyond this episode because it seemed really out of place to me for whatever reason. What just happened?
I don't know. I heard a ka-thunk somewhere. Hold on, I'm just going to run out of the room really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, Superman pulled a Batman on Perry White.
He sure did.
Now, what if that's going to be resolved next episode? Like, where the hell did you go? I was talking to you.
Yeah, you're fired, actually.
The next episode is called Superman Loses His Job.
I knew that's what WF stood for.
Yeah, Brian doesn't know what WF stands for.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm excited for you. Oh,
Without
Brian.
finances because he lost his job.
It's me.
I have very short trivs. I'm going to go through them real quick.
Okay.
The maitre d' at Minerva closely resembles G. Carl Francis from the Batman the Animated Series episode The Laughing Fish. That was the copyright guy that Joker's like, copyright my fish, asshole. And he's like, no. Mm-hmm. And they look almost exactly the same.
Wow.
They're both also voiced by George Zunza.
Oh.
So I don't know what the deal is there, reusing the character, but I like to think that is the same guy. And he just, I gotta get out of Gotham. This is no place. This seems safe. Oh my God, here comes this gorilla man through the doorway.
A Greek restaurant. That's a safe place to work. Surely we'll never be attacked by an evil villain.
Yeah, from space. Yeah. Yeah, some people in the like the IMDb trivia and some sort of commentary I was looking at other places were saying that he looked like the ventriloquist. And I guess I can see it, but people were saying like, oh, it's the ventriloquist model sheet. It's the exact same thing. I'm like, no, he's just got glasses and he's kind of bald or whatever.
It looked more like ventriloquist in the new Batman Adventures, less like him in Batman the Animated Series when they did all their hard redesigns. That's kind of when it looks a little more like Wesker. So, that's right. Never mind.
Brian doesn't know.
Dang
I know that Joker looks like a freak now.
Yeah.
We got there.
Give us your Joker New Batman Adventures opinion. Is it a hot take or is it the cold take that everyone else has?
It's such a different look, and I got so used to the way he looked in the original Batman the Animated Series that some of the looks in the new one I was talking, I can't remember who I was talking with, and I think, we were talking with Glenn. And he goes, the change. I'm like, no, it wasn't an insult. I'm not insulting you. It's just I got used to those things. So please don't take that the wrong way. Glenn was there when they did all the redesigns. I liked the redesign for Batman, just having the big black bat, the more squared off shoulders. I like that redesign. I love the redesign for Robin's costume. Some of the villains, though, it didn't quite sit as well. I didn't like Poison Ivy's redesign. Joker, I could go either way on.
Yeah, I mean, Brian will experience these as they happen, and I always look forward to him seeing, like, especially like even in this episode, Calabanc's eyes light up in the dark, and you're like, oh, it's Killer Croc, and then he steps out, and you just went, like, you just didn't know what to say. Like, what am I looking at? Or whatever.
Yeah, it's a weird. Somebody put a monkey into a dive suit or something.
Yeah,
Very
he's got
bizarre.
like a similar little parasite bikini thing on his outfit. Yeah.
Calabac in a bikini. That should have been the title of the episode. Calabac takes a holiday.
I would vote for either of those, James.
Okay. In Back Issue Magazine 104, STAS character designer and storyboard artist James Tucker spoke of his existence on the episode.
So many Jameses.
My first time, I know. My first time storyboarding the New Gods characters in Superman the Animated Series was in the episode Father's Day, which was the first episode to really showcase any of the New Gods characters up to that point. I had to board a huge battle between Superman and Calabac in the final act. It was a scary assignment because up until that point on the show, Superman had rarely fought someone as strong as he was, so it had to be epic, and I was still a newbie to storyboarding. That was quite a thrill and an honor. So that was just kind of a fun tidbit there.
So what do
you think?
What are the New Gods?
That's just the name of of the grouping of Jack Kirby Darkseid characters for whatever reason.
Okay, so it's
I believe there is.
It's not like an STAS specific thing. It's like these characters.
It's a DC thing. Yeah,
Okay.
I know that there is. I wish I was more up to speed on it, but I know that there is a history of, from the Big Bang level beginnings of the cosmos kind of timeline, that all of the old gods have either died or gone into exile or this kind of thing. And so Darkseid and his volley of characters are more the like, okay, well, we're going to step in and take over. We're the new gods. Like, you're going to listen to us, Mr. Eyeball Zigzag Man. I'm in charge now. And obviously like, we'll find out more about him and stuff. But yeah, the Darkseid guys have been around for eons at this point. They're very ancient and craggy, and Superman, whatever, he's just some little ant that's in my way, whatever. I'll take over Earth at some point, don't worry about it. So yeah, is that a good explanation? Did you learn a lot just now?
No, but it's fine. That's just kind of what we do here.
Keen effects in this episode. We talked about the blue
There was
the Kirby crackle.
There were just so many keen effects.
I did like Desaad, or no, who was it that? Oh, it was Bruno Mannheim when he gets zapped with the Omega beams.
I thought he was
what
dead.
That's called.
I was just like, they're just killing him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's transported. Okay.
Yeah, he gets teleported to the whipping palace, the getting the rock place, the dungeon of some kind.
Right. Wait, can we go back and talk about the whipping palace? Like,
yeah, what did you say when that guy showed up?
Oh, something about his like Dom sub gear that he was wearing. He just
did
got
have
his
a
leathers
very
on.
Yeah, I almost expected Stefan from Saturday Night Live. Yes. Apocalypse's hottest new club is called the Whipping Palace. This place has it all: electro whips, zigzag eyeballs, men shoveling things with hot coal. And it's just like, would have been.
And he's reading it for the first time, so he's cracking up the whole time.
Yeah. One of Bill Hader's most legendary roles, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, he was the voice of Whipping Man. I forgot to read him off in the cast. Yeah. I just like the way that he kind of like the Omega beams hit Mannheim, and he kind of like, what is that called? Like a Venetian blind transition. he like separates into very thin horizontal lines as he's like zips out of existence. And then when he reappears, it's like kind of with a little puff of explosion, smoke, gas kind of stuff. I just appreciate that verse, like that in the boom tubes versus just like every other portal you've seen in anything else. It's a little more unique or whatever. Yeah.
When you're being transported like that, what do you think it smells like in there?
Whatever food they're cooking at Minerva's, I guess. Greek food.
Smells like, I guess, like hibiscus and falafel. Maybe that. It's kind of like,
that's also a good subtitle. Yeah, I think that kind of stuff was the most keen effecty kind of stuff going on.
I mean, there was a lot. There was a whole lot.
Superman's powers. Did he exhibit any new powers or weaknesses in this? He did do a Light Griffey Jr. We'll get to his strength level, but there was a little bit of wobbliness there with, like you said, James, of like, sometimes he can pick up a building, and now he's like struggling with robot tentacle or whatever.
Right.
He got zapped by Omega beams and they didn't kill him or transport him anywhere. So I guess he has zigzag eye resilience or whatever. I don't know what we're gonna call that.
I don't know.
That's kind of part of his like I feel like hard skin.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of old powers reimagined.
Hard skin, super durability.
Yeah.
I'll just put or zigzag. I don't know.
Zigzag eye resistance.
Yeah, zigzag eye
lock
resistance.
It in.
That works.
Yeah, that did strike me that he was very physical. No super breath, no laser beam eyes. He didn't use any of his other powers other than super hearing and strength. I'm like, that's right, car clap, which I think is an auto insurance here in St. Louis. If you've been injured, call car clap. It's nice to see them shouted out.
Yeah, there's a free advertisement in the 30-year-old Superman episode. But yeah, how strong Superman in this episode? We pick an object, rate him 1 through 10. He was doing decent against Calabac the whole time, considering Calabac's like this unknown strength level alien behemoth gorilla man. And he did pretty well, I think. I'll give him a 6 record Lois Lane's cell phone ? Out of 10. She's like, hit the record button. I'm on a phone. What do you want me to do? What are you talking about? It's 1997.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to give him an 8.4. Dominatrixes in the club out of 10. James, what about you? You got anything? You want to give him a rating of strength?
I would have said, because, there's buildings being dropped and he's being pushed through the underground into the subway. And he's being, I would have said maybe like an 8 or 9 because I know how strong Calabac is. But as I'm watching this, I'm like, he's super strong and nearly invulnerable. He can take full power Omega beams, but anything sharp or pointy, he was dodging, like the saw blade, or Calabac has that column
triangles
with the pointy end, the pointy tip. He's like, oh no, I can't be stabbed with a Grecian column. That's my weakness. So I was like, so he doesn't like pointy things. So I'm not sure if it's like Monk, or he's just, I'm afraid of milk. I'm afraid of pointy things. But because of the pointy weird thing, I'm going to go with like a 6.5.
Yeah, all right.
You want to give something attached to that, some noun?
Yeah, you got to pick this is this obscure stupid rule that we've made, is you got to pick an object from the episode out of 10 to give his strength level. Yeah.
6.5 Ford Pintos?
There you go. You go. Perfect.
Perfect.
I think I want to add like pointy objects to his weaknesses too.
It just struck me so bizarre. I'm like, why is that what you're concerned about?
I like the Grecian columns thing. That might be a weakness.
He literally, Calabac grabbed his face, was pummeling it into the pavement. He's like, this is fine. But a pointy, that's a bridge too far. He's like part vampire. It was really weird.
Yeah. Any other episode, someone would have like thrown that at him and he would have just stood there and it would have like hit him and dispersed off his chest or whatever, like crumbled immediately. But in this one, oh no, the gorilla has a stick. I better watch out. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hairy neckbeard from space. He's got this pointy object. Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Where is Clayface in this episode?
He was the column.
Is always hiding somewhere. He's the column.
He's the pointy column that turned into dust.
Okay. All right. We got this.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call.
And James.
The Balderarchy.
James and Brian and James. Yeah, we picked out of the antagonists of the episode, we picked the most bald. So we have Darkseid and Calabac and Desaad and the
subway
ball?
Train.
The train.
The columns.
The columns. Yeah. I think we'll stick to the people.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember if we gave Darkseid. Yeah, we did give Darkseid the win in Tools of the Trade, even though he was on screen for like 10 seconds. Yeah,
probably because he was the baldest.
He was the baldest. I think he really is the baldest here too, because
Calabac's hairy as hell.
Yeah, Calabac's got lots of hair, and Desaad at least has bangs. We don't know what's going on behind the bangs under the cloak, but.
Actually, it's a little known fact that Calabac is an apocalyptic word that says can't reach back there with a razor. So we know he's hairy. It's just one of those things.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say maybe he's just wearing a big wig. If he's Darkseid's son, but Darkseid doesn't have any hair, where do you get all the hair from? He's just trying to impress his dad.
From his mom.
Look, father, look, I've grown a beard. I don't give a shit. Get out of my face. Yeah.
He goes back to his mom, who's also got a beard. You did great, son. Don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah.
He's just jealous.
He'll like you someday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it to Darkseid again.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, I'm not going to explain to you what this means because we don't even know what it means. But James, do you think this episode was books or hip hop?
Oh, definitely hip hop.
Yeah, we got those drums, the drum set. We had lots of action. Yeah, it was pretty. I would agree.
I also love that you had no hesitation with that, James. You're just like, yeah, man, hip hop. I know.
You said you weren't going to explain it to me, and I kind of heard you do that in a couple other episodes. So I'm like, I think this is right. If you say it confidently, it'll be like, oh crap, he knew what he was talking about. So I just said it very confidently.
I want to get, we're talking about Brian watching all this stuff for the first time. I want to get your thoughts on listening to the jumping into the podcast. I assume more than 100 episodes in, just sampling a couple. Are we good? Does it make sense? What's going on?
Yeah, no, I like that. Just it's very relaxed, and I like the fact that neither one of you take yourselves too seriously. You're able to laugh and you're able to have fun. And I think when the hosts are having fun, that comes across, and the audience then has fun by extension. Because I was laughing along with you guys on it may have been the last episode where you guys were talking about Ghost in the Machine, because you guys were talking about Hardak and Brainiac and how which one. Yeah. So you guys were laughing. It's just like, these guys are having fun. I'm having fun by extension. So yeah.
Good.
Awesome. That's huge. That's
when
amazing.
we have some of our fans whose friends, they try to get to listen to the podcast and they're like, this sucks and I hate this. It's good to hear the opposite every once in a while.
Screw those guys.
It can't be. You hear that, Mark? It can't be for everybody. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to hear that translate for some people.
And I think the saying goes, if you try to please everybody, nobody will like it. So as long as you guys are having fun, I just say, yeah, whoever doesn't like it, it's not for them, then that's fine.
Thank you.
So, Brian, that's all we have to remember this weekend for the live podcast is like, just pretend no one's there, and you and I we'll just do our shit. We'll just have fun. We'll just be stupid idiots. And
that's true. That's true.
If people get up and leave, then we boo them loudly. No. Brian, are you putting this on your top 10 for Superman the Animated Series? Does it beat anything? Yeah,
Jamie.
Okay.
Yeah, I
you
really
never know with
enjoyed.
this guy. He hates on leather wings. He loves Father's Day. What's going on here? That gets the proper reaction from James.
Yeah, you know what? I liked this. It was ridiculous. Funny for me, usually it's the story. It's the story above all else that gets me. It doesn't matter how groundbreaking it is. It doesn't matter how there's this or this person. It's like the story. And this one story, really, really thin. That being said, it was just like a WWE episode to me. It was just a lot of brawling in different spaces.
In this corner.
Yeah. And like, it was just like, it was so like, in a way, lighthearted while still having some weight to it. I can't quite explain it, but all that aside, I'm going to put this at number 6.
Jeez, man,
which is
that's really
bump off Speed Demons. Dude, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
what can I say?
Speed Demons gone. So yeah, you have this above Way of All Flesh, Main Man Part 2, Double Dose, and My Girl.
Yep.
Interesting. I'm not putting this on my top 10.
Man.
I don't think it's better than even my number 10, which is Double Dose right now, which is the Livewire Parasite team-up episode. I didn't hate this episode by any means. Like, I think that it sets up a lot of good ground for stuff to come. I think it has a lot of good, like, some emotional moments with Calabac, especially when he remembers Darkseid being like, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. And I'm not a piece of shit. And he runs out of the place. Like, it's very good.
That's me every day.
Yeah. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, just
whoever you want to imagine.
Literally happened in physical therapy today. I was just like, I did this thing wrong, and to my physical therapist, I was like, oh, I'm just an idiot. He's like, you need to stop that. And he like kind of, chastised me for being self-deprecating.
More than just physical.
I know, it's mental therapy now. My God.
James, are you well, you have to. Where's the guest one? I've separated this by too many pages here.
Boom.
Okay, we got James.
Now,
Enstall.
As I was listening to your episodes, I had this question. Is it from all the ones you guys have seen so far, or just Superman the Animated Series top 10?
Well, for us, so we have the top 10 per show that we're doing.
Okay, so it's not including, like you said, because you mentioned On Leather Wings is out because he liked this one better. That's why I was like, are you talking about all DC animated stuff or just Superman?
No, On Leather Wings has been off of Brian's list for forever. It's my number 2. So we have the top 10 per show, but we also have the Yop 10, which is the full DCAU as we go. If something else, but so like for when we finished Batman the Animated Series, the top 10 and Yop 10 were the same thing. But as we're watching Superman episodes, if any kick off in our minds a Batman episode off of the Yop 10, then we get to add it. Like I have Ghost in the Machine, the last one we watched, at number 7 on my Yop 10. But for you as a guest, you can put this at any number you please. It doesn't have anything to do with any of that.
Okay.
You just have your own 10. If in your heart you're like, I mean, I like this episode, but it's no Mask of the Fan set, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, if you want to treat it like maybe you'll be back in future episodes and you want to put this at number 1 and keep piling them on top of each other or whatever you want to do is fine by us.
Oh, the Superman episodes, I would say this is definitely a top 10 episode of Superman animated series because it is our introduction to the new gods. We're starting to see that world and it's opening stuff up. I love Michael Dorn as a person and just him voicing Calabac. So a Superman animated series, I'd probably put this, I'm going to slot it in at 9. I'd have to go back and watch a lot more of the series. But yeah, overall DC animated universes, it wouldn't make my top 10.
Okay.
Because there's episodes of Justice League and Batman that I would totally...
Yeah. And Brian will get there too, don't worry.
Looking at my Yop 10, I mean, this is like nowhere near Heart of Ice or Feet of Clay Part 2. Like Robin's Reckoning Part 1, like none of this.
Yeah.
But I really, this like was a blast to watch. I don't know how to explain it otherwise. I don't have to defend myself. Maybe I
can do whatever you want. Yeah. Well, you didn't have to because we weren't in any sort of fight about this one. Sometimes we butt horns. We have butt horns, but not today.
Sounds painful.
Our butts are smooth. Yeah. I bet Calabac has butt horns.
And they're covered in hair, which is even worse because
I know.
Hairy butt horns. Wow.
Well, there's so many subtitle options. Well, that's pretty much the end of this. Brian and I are going to do mail afterward just so we don't keep you and, you're up late and all this kind of stuff. And you do like 16 podcasts a day, so we don't keep... But it's been great to have you here. I do think I would love to have you back. You pass the test, you get a B+. I'm just kidding.
I'm giving you an A.
It's above average. That's fine. I'll take a B+.
Flying Kelly. Yes. Just like this episode. You were the Father's Day of guests for... I'm just kidding.
So it's been a lot of fun. You guys are great. The energy is great. And I'm glad I was able to finally, after listening to you guys, be a part of this. This is fantastic. So thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks for being here, man.
Sweet.
It's been great. Bring
Brian onto Justice League Revisited before he's seen any Justice League and just spoiling an entire season for him.
What is happening right now? Yeah.
Green Lantern?
Who's the chick with the wings? Why is she so bossy?
Yeah.
Wait, I know who Green Lantern is. Who's the chick with wings? Or I guess I shouldn't know.
You'll find out.
Yeah.
It's Clayface.
Yeah. Clayface again. Yes.
Well, sweet. Bye. Thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot.
We'll see you I'll see you on the internet. We'll see you in a future episode. All that good stuff.
Yeah, look forward to having you back, man.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Brian.
Pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Dude, quality.
Yeah.
I like him.
I realized I'm an asshole and I never gave James a second opportunity, a closing opportunity to tell us all his stuff, plug his things. But we did it at the top. You can find links in the description and whatever for all his stuff. We'll put all his stuff there. I was on an episode of Justice League Revisited. Just only listen to that one. No, just kidding. Listen to the whole podcast.
Maybe the year episode can be like the introductory one.
The transition, yeah. Or if you just want to hear Wonder Woman talk for an hour every other week, that's cool too.
I want to hear that.
Well, you can't.
Damn it.
Yeah. That yacht. That one small extra yacht.
I'm going to tell Brian the name of the next episode when this is over.
Yeah. That yacht.
You'll finally know what it stands for.
Extra yacht. Put it on.
We drop what we drop. Our weekly we up. Oh yeah, so into the comments box. There sure was a lot. Now Jamie's mad. Too bad we're wrong. I am just Dylan Paula.
Hey, this is James from the future. I'm popping in really quick because I want to tell you, the listener, that if you want mail of yours read during the live show this Saturday, which is within like 24 hours of you listening to this, probably, if you're listening when it comes out like a good little boy. Then Saturday, March 9th, by noon Pacific time is your deadline to get that in. I cannot guarantee we will play anything at all during the live show because we're prioritizing people that come up to the microphone. But if we have time and we're not being pressed to get out of the location, we will play other mail. So keep it WF related if you would. We'll probably do a separate mail segment after the fact. But yeah, that's all. Back to the thing that we were doing before.
Kimmy. I'm not going to promise anything.
I know. I think you might have convinced her. She texted me about it.
She's been sick, and she even like lost her voice and everything. I know she at least found the chords for the song, and so we might maybe just get Kimmy doing this live, which would honestly make me so fucking happy.
I know. You and I can hold up like one mic to the ukulele, one mic to her mouth, and then we can do all the "what we dropped" behind her. Oh yeah, no. And then crack her up and mess her up.
all I want, listener, you're out there. All I want is if you're at the live podcast and we do this, I want everybody to yell first as loud as they possibly can. Please remember this. It would make me so happy. My birthday is like within days of the podcast.
Yeah.
That'd be a great birthday present.
Well, another great birthday present is to just be there.
Oh, yeah. That.
Tomorrow. If you're hearing this, get on a plane right now. Go. Get on a big bus. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat and Claw Part 2, it was 1,000,000 years ago, you can send a punctuated email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on today's episode on the Pod Tower YouTube channel. But please, James Enstall, don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian. He did pretty good, all things considered, honestly. I was happy. This is from Dylan Pollock, Father's Day.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on Father's Day, or Daddy Issues. Holiday episodes of the DCAU are my favorite now. Oh, is that just me? No one else? Why initially are Darkseid and Desaad watching Lois jog like some kind of pervs? What was the plan there? I found myself thinking if only Clark had taken his parents instead of to a nice restaurant to Denny's, so we could have seen Calabac being like, "Is it true Superman often enjoys some moons over my hammy here?" Also, if this took place in New York City during that scene where the train station's getting fucked up, I feel like people would still be waiting for the train like, I gotta be late because of this? Great.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
Time for question of the week. James, for your part. At what age will it be appropriate for your son to start fighting your battles? Brian's age or slightly younger?
Well, I will forbid him to go to an alien planet and fight my battle because it would be too embarrassing for me. No, I would almost enjoy that. Like, yeah, kick their ass for me, whatever.
I made you fight my battles.
Yeah, exactly. What else did I make you for? I do like the idea of Calabac being like, "Is it true Superman is seen eating a Grand Slam every Tuesday at this establishment?" Yes.
It's just the weirdest.
Good.
It was the weirdest choice of like, where could he go? Yeah. Like city center, like maybe like the harbor, some like somehow obvious place, and he's like, Greek restaurant.
This looks like a good lunch spot for Superman and his family. Perhaps if I shaved over the tables, my hair they would get so many bad Yelp reviews. This is from Eric LeBeau, Father's Day. I don't even have a joke for the episode name because, wow, the animation in this one sucked about as much as Bill Skarsgård looks in The Crow 2024. Have you seen that image, Brian? The Crow reboot.
No.
He's very tatted, very dripping. He looks like Desaad in this episode.
Oh, no.
And standing in a mirror. Yeah, I don't know. I've been interested in your opinion on it, but you'll have to look later.
It's a remake. You know my opinion on it.
Well, I suppose that's true.
All right, I think we found S-Tess's worst animated episode so far, which, is the last thing you want for a Jack Kirby-centric episode. From layering issues to weak punches and even weaker blocks. Not to mention Caliban's weird walk into a close-up that made me genuinely laugh out loud. The story and characters are fine, outside of Clark's parents making a case for why they're the two dumbest characters in this show. The sole exception being Lois, who didn't pick up on the 2 hints that they gave her to Superman's identity. Speaking of the story, I'm just glad Soups and Caliban's talk about innocent human beings didn't take place in a comic book store. Otherwise, his lack of care for geeks would have made a little contradiction in his statement about protecting the innocent. Also, how did Kids WB not take that Pokeball-looking device from the first fight and make a crossover bumper with Pokemon? Not like it would have been the only one they did.
Word on the street is that someone's leaving Pokemon.
I hope it's Team Rocket. I'm really tired of that silly rhyme.
I'm just glad we're getting to WDF next week because I need some quality. Have fun at the Flesh Tent, everybody. Keep calm and yop on.
Have fun at the Flesh
Also,
Tent.
fuck you, Clark. Team Rocket were the best part of Pokemon.
Yeah, there were a lot of Kids WB commercial bumpers that just had like not Kevin Conroy or not Tim Daly like popping in as Batman or Superman and just having some sort of like Pokemon crossover or Men in Black, whatever else was popular at the time. They just like take some shot from the show, from the DCAU episode, and just awkwardly cut them out into some other show. And it was never supposed to look great, but it was like, I don't know, I think it was probably funny when I was 7. Watching them now, it's like, oh, this is very dumb and very bad.
Why it's Kids WB, not Adults WB.
I'm sorry. Whoops, I'm sorry. This is from LexCorp Cares. Pax LexCorpica, baby. Howdy, Jimmy John's and Brugger's Bagels. Just a fun message from everyone's favorite mega corporation.
Darling, guess who's back from a LexCorp sub-basement? That's right, our glorious leader has returned, and I, for one, can't be more excited about it. Brainiac came crawling back to us, looking at us for our body we could build him, and Lex, all on his own, said no. And you know what else? I heard that Space Hell came back today, and they lost again. Some rando from there came on back down to Earth, and because they partnered with Bruno Mannheim instead of it going with LexCorp, they failed again. You know, if Space Hell came calling to LexCorp, I wish we could say yes, I wish we could collab, but we are too busy now. We've got more exciting collabs going on. Hey, totally unconnected, but how many guns do you think you could fit on a space robot? I want to say like 40, but maybe I'm being too pessimistic. Maybe we can go for 60. I don't know. Anyways, real exciting stuff. Talk to you later.
That makes me think of how Bruno Mannheim, when he pops up in the episode in the first place, he's like, I've been hanging around here for a while. Have fun. And my first thought was, why are you there? Why are you at Space Hell? And then I remember that's the last time we saw him was the very end of Tools of the Trade. He jumps after Kanto into the boom tube. And then Kanto's like,
oh my God, you're
which
right.
god do you mean? And shows him Darkseid. And that's the last time we saw him was him going, oh, fuck, who's this Darkseid guy? Oh, I'm so scared. But I forgot that completely. So I was just like, why is he here? But they almost had to be like, oh, if you paid attention, he's here, but we're just going to teleport him to the dungeon, and now it doesn't matter. Like, it's just like very random little moment there.
I'm glad it wasn't just me, because I was kind of confused at that point.
Yeah,
it's like, cool, he's an Earth guy. I don't remember. I remember the name Bruno Mannheim, but like where, from what? Why is he in space or wherever we are?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Space, hell, both, whatever this is. This is from Lanola Cola. Tug on the Super Cape. Is it Father's Day already? But it's not June. Happy not Father's Day, James. Good day to you too, Brian. Time for the episode, not the holiday, Father's Day, a.k.a. That's no moon. That's an apocalyptic scream machine. Michael Dorn is a proud warrior guy. Now that's typecasting. The return of Superman's greatest weakness, giant monkeys. Caliban is peak wide, even wider than Brainiac's new body. How many years of bad luck did Caliban accumulate after breaking all that glass? And hey, was that the ventriloquist as the restaurant host? Back to the antics on Apocalypse, and we finally get a taste of how Darkseid and his group operate. Obviously, there will be more to come with Darkseid and Apocalypse, but I feel the group as of this episode comes off as generically evil, with all the shorthands for their vileness, vague proclamations of their plans, and willingness to sacrifice underlings to further their goals. As for the episode, I was perplexed that Soups and Callie, that's going to be my nickname for Caliban, fight took up most of the runtime, that Jonathan Kent being trapped under rubble felt like an afterthought. there was that moment where he says like, oh, my father, and then Superman's like, father? And I just went like, oh yeah, my dad. Like he's under the rocks. I forgot.
I thought it was just made for tension, but maybe that was the situation.
Martha breaking kayfabe. Kaifa Bay? I don't know this word. And accidentally outing Superman's identity as Clark was notable, but I feel like Lois could have followed up on that after John was saved. Lastly, Darkseid's heat vision / hot look was pretty keen, and perhaps hotter than Clark's hot look. It did burn Calabac to a crisp. I'll get back to y'all faster than it took the episode to remember that Jonathan was buried under rubble till we up again. This is from Metropolis Mayor Franklin Berkowitz. Happy Father's Day, Metropolishers. Dear Metropolitans, happy Father's Day. All I wish to say is, Carla, you can't keep me from seeing my children, you fucking monster. Now about the monster attacking downtown. Don't worry, I'm sure the blue guy is on his way to kiss someone as I speak. Anyway, we're officially bankrupt. We've had to bail out the insurance companies too many times on account of the large number of, quote, unplanned demolitions. So Metropolis does not have any money to pay the police or the firemen or the waste disposal, so either the Senate gives us a loan and essentially takes over, or the most populous city in the country collapses in a month. Rumors that I plan to resign are unfounded gossip. It's actually surprising we made it through this many alien invasions. Running this city was pretty fun. What's that, Ezekiel? Dear Metropolis, we have received a large quantity of money from Mr. Lex Luthor. Our city is still standing. It's a Father's Day miracle. Oh, he left a note? It reads, this message and the transaction attached to it have been pre-programmed 2 weeks ago. Hello, public official of large human settlement number 7. I, Lex Luthor, a human man who is not Brainiac, have deposited a monetary amount able to be exchanged for the labor of your inferiors. It would not be beneficial towards LexCorp employees, and therefore the functioning of my corporation, if they lacked basic public services. I am not Brainiac. Thanks, Lex. I'll erase all those tapes where I call you a shithead. Anyway, bye, citizens. I love you, unless you're my ex-wife, Carla. Very good. This is from Ryan Hipp. Your father, I mean, a man who's farther, a farther away man. If you know, you know. And it says, no one will know, including me. I don't know.
It's everybody's favorite. Brad had the kids for Father's Day this year, so he took them to the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience.
Oh, look, it's a chocolate river.
Even before I first rewatched the show, my God, almost 3 years ago, fuck time, fuck everything. Yep. I remember this being the one where Calabac came to Earth and did shit that almost got Pa Kent killed, but for some reason, my brain thought that this episode was just a series of Calabac doing things and Pa Kent nearly getting killed, just over and over again for 22 minutes. But no, it's just the one time. What a great story.
Not again.
And do play along at home. This week they played Holiday Nights again in fucking September, and Livewire and Sins of the Father, just like the far gone days of Kids WB hyping up a fucking Calamity Jane show and pulling it after 3 fucking weeks.
And now she's laying down the law and rounding up the dirtiest pack of varmints this side of Outlaw County.
Oh yeah, I forgot to go back and see why they did that. All right, let me pull the show up here, get my headphones, all right, and play. Okay, it's a little kid, and look, mother, those men are... Oh my God!
This weekend on Kids WB.
Yeah, that was the show with the very like weird racist comment that I mentioned that came out around the same time as Superman.
Got it.
The clip that he used from the episode reminded me. I did really like that comedy moment of. It had really good comedic timing of Superman coming out of the subway and everyone's like, yay! Whoa! And then he's just, not again. And gets a punch in the face. Like, even he's like, this is the whole episode. This is all we're doing. It is good. Jordan Newman, Gotham Insider Musical Minute. Please pay no attention to Jack Ryder's ramblings when he thinks he's off the air. Sincerely, GCN PR Department. Oh.
You're listening to the Gotham Insider, reporting live from Metropolis. Tonight's top story, Superman fought an alien again, and he beat the alien, I'm pretty sure. And that's what happened in Metropolis tonight, folks. Jack Ryder signing off. I don't know, is it just me? Am I the only one who's not fazed by the aliens anymore? I'm just kind of bored with the whole thing. Like I want something just really weird to happen. Like, do I need to move back to Gotham to have something just really fun and insane happen? Oh my God, this thing's still broadcast.
Jordan, the music.
Now over to the music. I really liked the Apocalypse music stuff. I thought like the weird percussion at the beginning with the Apocalypse and device. I thought that was really cool. Just lots of interesting grooves in this one. I liked it. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
Grooves. That's good. Grooves in the music, grooves in the rocks.
I thought we were going to skip over the music there, but
it just cut off there. Yeah.
I was just a little too quick.
Happy Father's Day from Scarloey1. First, I want to wish all the dads out there, sugar and otherwise, a happy Father's Day. I could have sworn it was in June, but what do I know?
Hello, my name is Calvin Ellison. Yeah, that's a name. I'm Calvin Ellison, and I want to tell you that I think you have been spreading false information about Superman, who is not me. He does not go around kissing people without consent. That was my clone. I mean his clone. No, actually it was my clone. Meaning that he had nothing to do with the guy who is going around kissing all those people. Also, you need to stop playing messages from LexCorp Cares. They are spreading false information about me. I mean, Superman. I also want to wish my father, Jonathan Kent Ellison, a happy Father's Day. Kent is his middle name. Anyway, goodbye.
That was weird that Calvin Ellison made a whoosh sound at the big old whoosh.
Made a big old whoosh.
I don't know how could he do that. This is from Tip Tappercut, Contemplations on Father's Day.
Okay, contemplations on Father's Day. So for an episode that's clearly setting itself up to be like big, like, oh, big villain comes back, he's gonna conquer the world, he hates Superman, whatever, big deal. I didn't like it very much. I think that the animation was kind of bad. Everything was too floaty, even in the fights where stuff was supposed to be like, it needed to be snappy and it wasn't. And expressions were odd. There were too many like whites of eyes, and it felt like a very nothing burger episode. Like, I feel like there were comparisons to be made between like gentle parenting and loving parenting with Clark and his family, and how that makes you a hero versus like Kalibak being so ousted and not cared for by Darkseid as a father figure and as a father. But I don't really think that they dug into that. It was just like a lot of fighting that was bad. And also the music stuck out to me as not being very Superman, and also not really like fitting with the scenes. So didn't love it. Flesh tent will be better. Full of meat in there and me. Bye.
Is this my comeuppance for On Leather Wings? It's like, man, I really like this episode. Everyone's like, it was trash.
Now, if this was your On Leather Wings, it'd be me going like, I just don't understand. I hate it. It's bad. And I have to keep that up the rest of the podcast. Nice. I'm there with I think it's more nothing falafel we decided than burger, but I'm there with Tip Tappercut. I think on the animation could have been glossier, could have had more heft to it for being such a fight episode. But I didn't hate it. It was fine.
I think it was the keenness of the effects for me.
Yeah. I think I agree that it would have been kind of nice to have more Superman and his dad interactions than just,
oh, yeah.
Oh, are you saving my life? Is this a Father's Day present? Studio audience laughs. There wasn't some like, parallel comparison between Kalibak's fatherly relationship, and you just know Superman has good dad relationship by default. Like, you just have that knowledge already, but you don't see it on display in the episode. I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I guess.
I know.
Okay. This is from Justin Harris, Daddy's Day. I liked the music in this one. Kind of had a techno thing going on at first. Then I swear I heard the music from The Forgotten near the beginning. I really like how Kalibak's theme mixed with Superman's near the end of the fight. Kalibak predicted that train scene from Invincible. It's crazy that Lois hasn't figured out who Superman is yet.
Oh my
Personally,
God.
I prefer that she knows, but that's classic S-Man. I can't believe the live event is this week. Super hyped for it. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Justin. I believe we'll see you there.
We will see Justin there. Have we talked about this?
What?
That Justin's coming from Alabama.
Hot damn.
Yeah.
Prepare to be disappointed. It won't be worth it. No, please.
I'm like, oh man, I
excited.
I got to make up for that. Like, I got to make this like Alabama traveling good.
That's the subtitle already. This is from Kyle. Am I alone?
I have lost track of how long I've been dead for. Every day's starting to blend together. There's so many commercials. Oh, does everybody remember commercials? At least I'm able to keep track with the show, though. Ghost in the Machine was okay. I remembered liking it more. I'm curious if James and Brian think that the stakes feel low consistently in a Superman show. Because he's an alien and fighting other aliens? I mean, you can't have the world be at stake every time, but it feels like it could be happening more often. Anyways, I'm going to look around, see if anyone else is down here. Oh! Ow! Ow! I think I slipped on a banana. Banana Man? Banana Baby? Am I down here alone?
Oh my God.
that noise? Oh my gosh, what is that?
Oh, that's where it ends. What a cliffhanger.
Why?
We'll never know. Ever.
Oh my
That's
God.
the last Kyle. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I think the stakes are just fine right now because obviously I know things that Brian doesn't know.
That's not fair. You can't know.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm the guy who's seen everything.
That's true.
Do you feel that way though? Do you feel like, oh, the world should be at stake every episode, but then would it mean the world being at stake wouldn't feel as special or whatever?
Yeah, I think it would kind of gloss over in the same way of me like having all these problems I did at the start. I think it would just be yeah.
Well, I feel like if Superman, like he's pretty new to the scene still, so like these dark side Brainiac types or whatever that are like, could blow up the planet or whatever, are still kind of like, oh, there's a guy over there. Should I do something about that? Instead of like, oh, obviously Superman, protector of Earth or whatever, So I think it's fine for the moment.
For now.
This is from Jack of the Cards. Bonjour, Yoppie dudes.
Bonjour.
Wish I could come say hi on the 9th, but rehearsals are running longer. I believe this is the Young Frankenstein rehearsals. And we're coming up on tech. Anyway, hope y'all have fun in the flesh tent. And there's 2 little beer clinky emojis. Thank you. We should just be drinking the whole time.
Oh, you better believe it.
The old granddad with it.
Oh, you better not believe it.
From Wishbone. This is the dog, I think, from PBS. Once you guys finish watching through the DCAU, we're getting a brand new podcast covering the entirety of Duckman Private Dick, right? I mean, that could be a bonus episode or something. We'll find out. We're slowly going through Freakazoid. We haven't watched one for quite a while.
I had that thought tonight when I saw our link, and I was like, oh no.
This is from Ape Traits, Superman's newest power, keyboard warrior nephew. Okay, thank you. That was the only person that submitted the correct using nephew superpower. So I'll do keyboard warrior nephew. And that was from Ghost in the Machine, which was the ability to know how to power the big roof gun. Okay, thank you. That's very good. Euphonium Star, Ghost in the Damage Report. Candy bar vending machine, Clark's apartment window, Clark's shirt, tie, pants, socks, shoes, and glasses. 2 road bridges, 3 Brainiac drones, security room door, 20 by my counting more Brainiac drones.
Wait, can you read off Clark's garments?
Clark's shirt, tie, pants, socks, shoes, and glasses.
Is he wearing underwear?
Underwear over his Superman costume? I don't know. I would guess it goes underwear, Superman pants, Superman underwear, Clark pants. That's my guess.
Okay, cool. I needed that. Sorry, please continue.
Assuming he's wearing underwear under it. Who knows? Sector 6 doors, claw arm robot, Big Machine 1, Big Machine 2, wall behind Big Machine 2, all the other big machines along with Sector 6. I think Brainiac should also be in the damage, probably. Brainiac himself. This is from Rose Kelly. Have you ever taken a look at the vehicles in the DCAU? Some of those would have been great toys. All the toys that were not. Great show. Great job on the show. Always a treat.
Thank you.
Thank you. And no, we haven't done a vehicles in the DCAU video, but I'm thinking about doing some kind of like obscure action figures video or something like that, because there's a lot of like lightning strike Batman and things that like never were actually in the show, but it's just the same mold of the other one, but he's got like lightning bolts on it or something.
If you ever want to do a vehicle thing, I would throw my hat into the ring to being able to help you identify them, like identify their real world counterparts. You just have to send me like screenshots of them or whatever.
The tri-nitro piston poppers, whatever those were called. Tri-nitro injectors, turbocharged
turbo injected piston poppers? Turbocharged piston poppers?
Jalapeno poppers. Nick Sorensen, Superman better thank his lucky stars that no one in Metropolis managed to get a brief glimpse of a flying Clark Kent carrying away an exploding missile. I agree.
You know there was somebody smoking on their balcony just going, what
Holy shit. Oh, no one will ever believe me. Banana Landlord, evil envelope from Evil Banana Baby says, Oogoog hag, here's your goddamn fucking rent money, you psychopathic landlord. Now leave my family alone. You are clearly not okay. Evil Banana Baby, this envelope is filled with counterfeit money, so you haven't actually paid the rent. This is not okay. Oh, damn.
Oh, shit.
get it together. Ashley Tetchin. The funniest thing about Jamie hiding the title of WF from Brick is that while it would be very obvious to anyone in the know, it'll mean absolutely nothing to Brother Broderick. That's what I said. With all this phallic symbolism between Lex and Brainiac, I wonder if anything will end up coming of their relationship. Also, technically, Brainiac is more bald than Lex, since Lex presumably has some tiny hair follicles buried in there somewhere, while Brainy has a fairly literal chrome dome. Yeah, I don't think we even bothered to mention that at all last episode, that when we see Lex Luthor, this has been on my mind for the Balderarchy like since the top, and I dropped the ball completely. Was like, we see Luthor, he's been down there for days. He's got like whiskers growing and patchy facial hair. Top of the head still completely bald. So if he had been more antagonistic, it might have given him some points, but he was the victim of the episode, really. So other than Mercy, I suppose. Banana Man says okay.
Yeah, okay. It's weird how much I've continued to like that.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, oh hell yeah.
Well, it's like there's this strange thing, and I love the input from everybody, and like, don't take this the wrong way, but it's like these obscure things that, like, I don't know, they're the weird outsider things. Banana Man saying okay, the damage report as of late has been one of my more favorite. It's like it's like having you read it to me sounds like poetry for some strange reason. I don't mean that like sarcastically. I'm just like, fucking tell me the things that have been destroyed. I love it. So yeah, Banana Man, glad to hear you're out there and you're okay.
Mark Aquino is last first as always.
As
Father's
always.
Day. Or back dad ass up, or just get your dad a space gift card. Look up in the sky. Who's that Pokemon? Ba-na-now. It's Darkseid. Darkseid. Da-da-da. No, he should have said, it's Darkseid. Who's Darkseid? Who is that? Is that someone I should know?
Eyeball Man, give me some clue.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot we're not allowed to hype up Darkseid. My bad. So Fuckface Magoo is back, and he's got a deadbeat son who literally lives and dies on the approval of Senpai Daddy. This family makes the Roys from Succession look like the Flanders family. Regardless of my newfound hatred towards this character, I really like this episode. Lots of great action beats here, and the score by the Queen, Shirley Walker, is aces. Good old Michael Dorn, I Am Weasel himself, was great as Calabac, and Michael Ironside further establishes how cold and menacing he is as Darkseid. Oh wait, no, my bad. He stinks, and I don't like him. Get him out of here. Dan, do something. Less of this bum and more of the Sewer King. Las Vegas Bear Hugs, the #1 podcast host this year, Multiverse of Ours, Jitterbug, and Brain Fart.
Thank you.
Our Lord and Savior Dylan. Those are pretty accurate. Savior Dylan Pollock, keep up the great work on your own podcast, and remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise, of course, to all his loyal disciples, all the names. I started reading the names and I cut it out because I can't keep anyone off. Although I'm glad that Peter Pantaloons and Slacks Pain still make the list. And of course, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours, you're the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. I'm not looking forward to next week's episode. It's easily the lowest point in the DCAU so far, and I feel like I speak for this community of ours when I say that no one else is looking forward to it either. I feel bad for everyone who's going to the live pod event this Saturday, having to watch WF. Might as well stand for wet fart, am I right? Oh well. I do hope everyone has fun regardless. Until next week, big old whoosh, I just flew away. Yeah, is that what it stands for, Brian?
Yeah.
Well, here we are at that spot. At this, you
realize there's a pretty high probability that I'm going to be fucking pissed.
At what?
You
at the episode? Me?
No, because it's
why?
Because everyone's just like, yeah, but it doesn't mean anything, and you're like keeping it secret, and we're like in the ads, you're doing like the WF episode, like. What?
Well, here's the deal. There are technically 2 names for this. I won't tell you the second name, and I haven't even given you any hints about it until we're there.
Why is there 2 names?
Like about to watch it? You'll find out.
Oh my God!
One couple final guesses in. Do you have anything rolling around in the old noggin about what WF stands
won't
for?
Forget.
Won't fuck.
Can you give me a? I don't.
There's a chocolate brand with this same name.
Wonka.
No.
Wonka bar.
Fuck. It's the unknown.
There's a chocolate bar with WF.
A chocolate company. Yeah.
There is a Wonka chocolate company.
Well, okay, but it's not Wonka. Do you want me to just tell you what it is?
No, give me some more.
I don't know how to. I don't know what other clues to give you. Really, it's the name of a comic book series from the 60s that won't help you either. And if you look it up, it'll be spoilers.
Well, I mean, like give me hints to the words. You don't have to give me hints to both words in context together.
You just said you said the word twice just now. Has the first three letters as the same
word.
The first three letters of that are the same as the first three letters of this episode.
Were.
We're playing Wordle. We're playing. If I could do a custom Wordle for the.
How many letters is it?
6 in the first word, including an apostrophe, and 6 in the second word.
I need to write this down.
Brian's gonna do like a Scrabble.
So it's WOR.
Mm-hmm.
WOR blank apostrophe blank.
Correct.
It's probably pluralized, right?
What do you mean?
Like, is it apostrophe S?
It is apostrophe S.
Okay, not like apostrophe D.
But it's a belongs to
possessive
apostrophe. Yeah. I'm gonna cut out so much space that this is just gonna get a lot of
I'm gonna get this
meat.
so quick. I'm gonna get this so quick in post.
I know he's gonna be so smart. I'll just go. What do you think it stands for? And then cut immediately to you guys.
My okay. This is like my dumb brain, and I don't know, maybe it's some dyslexia thrown into there. Honestly, the thing my brain keeps doing, and I'm like trying to pry my brain off of it, is works. WORK apostrophe S apostrophe S. I'm like,
what?
Like my brain wants to put works into it.
Works is
what works this is.
Earth.
Worlds.
Mm-hmm. That's not how. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah, you're getting there. World's
Okay.
F is what you got so far.
Oh, right, F. I'm like, what's the second?
You didn't even have F down. World's, what could it possibly
you just
be?
said no. Is there an apostrophe S in the second one too?
No. There is an S though.
Finals? Like the world's taking a test?
You almost said it. You got the first 3 letters right.
FIN?
Uh-huh.
Finale.
That has an S.
Oh, there's no S in it. God damn it.
I've got my fingers hovering over the buttons. You're so close.
Finesse. World's finesse.
No.
Wait, did I say that
You're
before?
very close. You're very close.
It's so easy for you.
I think as a sentence, like as a phrase, it works better to put like a noun after these 2 words. So like world's this thing.
Give me a this thing.
Chocolate. Because that's the name of the chocolate brand.
Oh. Finest?
Yeah! You got it, baby.
It does work better when you put something behind it.
It really does. Without it, it's just kind of like, finest what? The finest what?
World's finest?
What do you think it's about, Brian?
Wine.
You got no. Superman gets drunk.
I'm gonna go get.
Well, do you think it's a Superman episode or Batman? You know it's a Superman episode because that's what
Superman.
we've been touting it as. Yes, I'll give you 3 guesses,
Worlds.
and then you get to stop, and we'll just do it. We'll just do it.
Is it like a competition?
In some ways, yes.
I'm gonna stop right there.
I got some points. What kind of competition do you think? We've already had like a flash race kind of thing, so it's not going to be that. But
I'm guessing it's going to be a flash race. Wait, what did you just say? I'm guessing it's like for the sake of
the world.
Yeah. Is it that kind of? Is it like a battle, like a competition for Earth?
No, that's your second guess. You get one more. Look, Brian, I don't want you to guess what it is, but
is it like an Olympic thing?
No.
Fuck!
You'll find out, baby.
Okay.
This weekend at the Flesh Tent in Eugene, Oregon. He's showing me his.
Hooray.
World's finest chocolate. That's what the episode. Batman. Superman fights Willy Wonka. He fights the unknown.
Fuck yeah, he's got his Hoover. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have a lot of fun. I think.
Why would you?
Because the secondary name for this will be more.
Is it like World's Finest : Superman fights this villain?
No. Look,
why did you
don't ask more questions? You can't know more. I'm giving you bits.
I could have known
what
this.
You know. Yeah, well, this is the thing. So the longer you sit with it, the longer you could potentially guess what's going on. And I don't want you to know until we're like watching it. Say that again, because you crackled the entire time.
It said, "Have you met me?"
You're still crackling. I don't know what's going on.
Have you?
Although
met
I kind of
me?
liked the that just happened a second
ago. I'm phasing into other dimensions because I'm so pissed.
Yeah, the Star Trek transporter sound effect. A banana? I'm becoming a banana. Well, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is the last one we're doing before we do this.
It is
together in front of people.
Yeah.
Do we really have to be naked? That was a weird criteria you put into this.
It's the world's finest way to be in front of an audience. That's why we've chosen to be naked. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, everyone listening to this like a normal person, you'll hear it in a week from now. But for everyone else that's attending, it's tomorrow.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, we're going to be naked. There'll be dogs. Those are both things that are happening.
If there's two things you can expect, no clothes, extra dogs.
We'll just have the dogs over us like loincloths, just holding them and have them in our laps the whole time.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that we're at an art gallery. I'm sure it's perfectly legal.
It's part of the art, you know? We're the nude models for the podcast.
We're like some of the world's finest, so we can't...
That's why they call it the flesh tent.
Well, time to go. See you, everybody.
Yep. See you for world's finest. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be a good time.
I'm glad. Let's go out with some recollection that I got some points for competition. Okay,
you did.
Okay,
you got like a 2 out of 10. It's an aspect of it. Yeah.
No. This is golf. So I got a 2 out of 10.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, wait, I pressed the wrong button and now it's a megaphone. How do I get out of this? All right, cool. That's the one I meant to press. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening. Bye, James Enstall, listening to this.
Thanks to James. If you made it this far, it was a pleasure having you on.
Yes. Give us the world's finest goodbye, Brian.
Ha there.
Oh, my God. What is that? Klingon?
Norwegian, motherfucker.
Oh, shit. Bye.
Great Darkseid, I do not understand. Why did you let Superman live?
Superman cannot be destroyed with one stroke, but it can and will be done.
You sacrificed your Calabac?
One casualty.
How many will there be before you destroy Superman and conquer the Earth?
As many as it takes.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Pod Tower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.